Hey there, welcome back. This is Cusp of Beauty Tarot, one of the few cusp channels out there, I think, doing love readings. So happy to have you here. If this is your first time, I do more than cusp readings, but I like to cater to the cusp signs where there's not a lot going on. So let's get right to it. This reading is for Scorpio-Sagittarius, and if you're hitting this in your birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday. So let's see what kind of birthday and relationship messages we can get for you, Scorpio Sagittarius. Oh, devil. Just wanted to jump out. Jesus. Okay, let's see. We'll clarify a little afterward. What's going on in your energy and the person that you're thinking about for December 2019. Or whenever you're watching this. Okay? Oh, Lord, too much, sorry. Okay, think it's trying to tell me we're ready here. I've done a lot of shuffling beforehand as well. Okay, so let's get to it. So I'm going to take just the uprights and clarify. Where you are right now is the Ten of Wands. How you see your person is the Hanged Man. How you feel about them is the Page of Cups. Where your person is the Chariot. How they see you is the Page of Wands, which is very interesting because you do feel Page of Cups for them. How they feel for you is the Seven of Cups. The energy between the two of you is the Queen of Cups. Wow, interesting. The potential challenge is the Seven of Discs. And the advice is the Seven of Wands. And the potential outcome is the Three of Wands. Okay, so bottom of the deck is the Four of Wands, which is a very, very positive, auspicious energy, for any relationship reading. Basically. So at this time, one or both of you might be striving for some balance, some stability, some recognition of what's going well in the relationship, maybe even a desire to take it to the next level, form a commitment. But there's kind of a mutuality, a mutual energy of positivity if this is the undercurrent during this period. And then you have to look at the fact that I don't have this set up really well. I apologize. You have to look at the fact that the bottom, the mutual energy is the Queen of Cups. So the mutual energy being the Queen of Cups, which is very loving, forgiving, and unconditional. And the undercurrent energy is the Four of Wands, which is very, let's come together, let's think about where we are, who we are, what we want to make this, should we come together, live together, level this up. This could be after a period of separateness where one or both of you distanced yourselves from each other. But basically there's a sentiment now of coming together. So let's look at this and then we'll clarify, okay? And then we'll take a couple more some extra cards for you. So Scorpio Sagittarius, you're coming from a place of feeling some heaviness about this. And, I think there has been, in a sense, some confusion around this partnership on both of your parts. And something happened where your partner put I think your partner, and I'm just going to say this, but I think there's an element of your partner that may be a bit self-focused or has been self-focused prior to this period. And maybe in this period, your partner's in the energy of go, 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 achieve, move, maybe making a decision, maybe moving on, but it's not an Eight of Cups. They're in kind of a victory, leadery victory, move along, keep things moving sort of a role. And I don't really see this as thinking about the other person card right now. They're in the energy of achieving, victory, moving. forward of some sense. Maybe it is with you, but your energy is feeling a burden. So to me, that means some element has been broken down, and you see them as the hanged man. So they may have disconnected for a while to do their thing. Maybe it was at work, and we'll clarify, but something may have happened where they disconnected for a while or sent mixed messages, and that was confusing to you. And maybe you were the one doing the giving, doing the communicating, doing more work, in the relationship. They do, despite all that, you want to come forward and offer them, a flirt, a message, reconnection. You still feel fondly for them. You have this unconditional sort of giving thing between the two of you. And yet the obstacle is one or both of you is just evaluating or thinking about this a little bit too carefully versus just coming right in and connecting. Maybe it's out of fear. I don't know. We'll clarify. But the obstacle is the Seven of discs, where he's really watching what he's planting, watching what he's putting energy to. And I think that's at minimum you, because you put a lot of energy to something that it almost feels like a burden, like the burden is on you to kind of make this work. And even after all of that, you have some Page of Cups energy left in you where you would come forward with an offer if this person, showed the signs. And they do view you as things going on in your life. You're creating new things, and they do view you as the one that would extend the wand and manifest a bit with them, and or participate in that text, or they do view you as being open, willing to create. The interesting thing is how they feel about you is, I think, a little confused, and also for those of you that this relates to, they might feel tempted by you. So I don't know if they're in a scenario where temptation would not be a good thing, but despite whatever they're showing you, they're a little confused or tempted by this connection. I don't know if, for those of you who that makes sense. And, that may cause them to pull back or analyze. I think whatever burden you were carrying causes you to pull back and analyze. At the heart of the matter, there's some, definite love and connection here. And the advice would be, don't lose sight of your victories here. Don't lose sight of what you've accomplished, what you've achieved. Don't get sucked into something just because somebody's reeling you in, is what I'm thinking. If they're kind of holding hard and fast, don't be so wielding. Don't be so automatically forgiving. Just be, scrutinizing, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Just kind of look carefully. Not so carefully that you go into paralysis, but don't get pulled back in. So let me clarify and pull a couple extra cards. The potential outcome is the Three of Wands. I mean, potentially you might be able to, create something new together. It is about building. What I'm not happy about is the back is on this. The back is to the face of this reading. And if this reading is about the two of you, an ultimate, outcome is somebody might be turning their back, or both of you might be saying, well, what else is out there? I'm not sure that this is meeting my standards, despite the fact, it's weighing it up. It's weighing it up. Is it going to go the distance? Can we go to the next level? Or do we need to kind of look at, what else is out there and how we need to level up our standards here? Because I just see a bit of a conflict. Potential Eight of Cups walking away to something better versus creating something versus working at something. This is absolutely, the Empress is sitting in a mood of authority, thinking, I've seen it through things. I know a few things. I've got so much love to give and create. What is it that I want to work hard at versus, it's Eight of Cups versus Eight of Coins. That is the conundrum here. Is there something I need to walk away from versus is there something else I just need to work a little harder at? Could also be the message that there's some working hard at yourself, but I'm reading for the partnership right in this moment, and I'm getting more of the vibe that this is the bigger decision. It's a bit of, or should I stay or should I go, kind of a vibe. And your person is a bit of a commanding energy right now. Like, I got things I'm working on. Yes, this is a temptation, but we'll see. Okay, so why are you feeling that overwhelm? Because somebody really stopped giving. Somebody stopped deciding if they were going to put more into this. There, exactly what I said earlier, there was an inequity and unfairness of the level of giving, and I would say that Scorpio Sagittarius was giving more than the other party. You see them as the hanged man because they pulled back to the point of overly maybe disconnecting, or maybe, you know, I don't want to say ghosting, but maybe they pulled back to the point of putting a, you know, there was a weird stopgap in this communication or this relationship. The King of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, so one of you was like the King of Wands, the other was the Queen of Pentacles. So there's the couple. You know, he's got his back to her. She wants to create. He's got his back to her, and the wand is upside down. So at some point, you know, maybe a little passion was lost, or maybe there wasn't an effort going in to that, and that's how you see him or her. Gender doesn't matter, but yet at the heart of the matter is you want to or would be willing to give. With this Page of Cups, you'd still be willing to give. You're not sure, you know, you're questioning how much risk you would take, and yet you know, you're still questioning. As much as you would offer forth a little something, you're questioning what risk you would take in terms of letting down your guard. One more card for why that is. Because there's been some instability in the past. It's why there's a striving for stability here, because there's been some instability, something you couldn't trust, that's kind of left you fending for yourself to some degree. Okay, so your person is in this energy of the Chariot. Yeah, it's exactly what I said earlier. There's this, I don't want to say selfishness, but this person was definitely self-focused. I said that out of the gate. The King of Pentacles in the reverse is self-focused, maybe focused on you know, work and what he's creating, or he or she is a leader, but can be selfish and very materialistic to the point of, you know, not really focused on relationships at all, but what they can create and what they're going to keep for themselves and build in their own empire, and not seeing the lesson, not offering the pentacle, not learning from this experience. So your person may be in that mode where it's a bit of me, myself, and I, which has caused the burden, has caused the lack of trust for you. They do see you as the Page of Wands. They see you as releasing any hurt and moving forward in, you know, they see you as releasing any hurt and moving forward as potentially coming in, that you would have the potential to come in. And that's kind of getting your vibe of Page of Cups. So, you know, do they feel like they could have you anytime they want? I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a temptation there for them and a confusion toward you. And then we got a confusion on confusion. 7 of Cups on 7 of Cups. And a manipulative energy with the King of Swords in the reverse, and a lack of justice. I don't know if they feel this way about you or they're embodying this. They may feel there's been an injustice and a manipulation, and that confuses them, or they're sending out mixed vibes because they're kind of focused on themselves and on achieving, and they feel this kind of, you know, like they're harboring some, for whatever reason, it feels like your person might be harboring some resentment, maybe on how things went down, which is really odd because you may be feeling that way and be like, what? How could you be harboring resentment? But if they're kind of, you know, emotionally immature or manipulative or all them at a certain point, and maybe their Scorpio Sagittarius did not come through as they used to, they might be like, I wonder what even happened, because, you know, he or she was always there for me in the past. I just kind of feel scorned. So they might be feeling some scorn, you know, but still at the heart of it, the mutual energy is this Queen of Cups. And it may not be expressed, but one or both of you still feels like you could have victory with this, or the energy is, you know, a recognition that there needs to be more attention to the relationship if it were ever to move forward. I think that you're both holding back. You're mirroring an energy of holding back because you don't want to, be all in the cups. You don't want to be all in this Queen of Cups energy because it might feel vulnerable. It might feel vulnerable for one or both of you right now. Like you're giving in or not, a bit of a win-lose. I don't know. The obstacle is over-analyzing it and wondering how you're going to come across, how the other person's going to think you are after all this time or after this amount of time, kind of in conflict or at a distance, or unevenness, or questioning the other, or questioning the trust, kind of over-analyzing it. Should we put more into it? Should we not? Is a potential obstacle coming into making a decision to maybe not give this another chance. There is an influence leaning on the side of not necessarily sure if there's going to be an offer made, a new offer made. So yeah, this is definitely an uncertain direction for this union despite the love. Queen of Cups sometimes holds the lid over her cup, and she does in this traditional, I'm not sure what I'm going to give here. I just can't endlessly give. And I think you both have this feeling of that. Like, should I stay or should I go? It's a vulnerability. And the advice would be to you, protect where you come. And then there's the opposite. And that's so funny. And that's a release, not defending and protecting, maybe checking out a little too. Overly dramatic, emotional, and maybe just, I can't actively participate, a bit drained. It's okay if you're feeling drained and you don't have the fight in you and it's feeling rather emotional. I think that the universe has its eyes on this and will, help guide where this needs to go. I do. I feel like that the advice is maybe take your hands off the wheel and that better things will be coming. Have faith. The ultimate outcome being the Three of Wands. Yeah, this burden moving to dropping the fight. What does it take to do that? Maybe coming out of this reflection and communicating. Figuring out how to manifest anew, what to put your energy into that's good for you, that kind of unlocks the gridlock. And why is this ultimate energy the Four of Wands? I think that's a desire for stability. Yeah. There's a desire for stability and building something strong that will withhold the test of time, but there's a fear of letting it crumble in order to create that. There's a truth that needs to be uncovered about this connection, this bond, this karma, and again, we've got the Three of Wands, which is down here as a potential outcome. There's a truth that needs to be uncovered. Maybe there's a communication that needs to happen to kind of, unhinge this. But I do feel like this, at least for this period, feels like a bit of a gridlock, a bit of lack of trust, not knowing if you want to reinvest in this. Wanting stability, not wanting to be the one that gives so much, not wanting to be vulnerable. And I think to some degree that's both of you, because for whatever reason your person feels maybe done wrong or surprised by the fact that maybe you'd been there all along and now they don't know where to find you, truthfully. It's like, what happened? We shake the system a little bit when somebody's used to us behaving a certain way. And then, we get done and then we change the system and maybe the runners kind of like stopped in their tracks and they're kind of like, huh? What? So I think there was a bit of that, but I do think there's this inextricable bond between the two of you, for better or for worse. And there's maybe the lesson that still needs to be learned. And I think it's more that you're learning it and that your person is still not learning it yet. Love yourself first, and that's the lesson you've been learning. Yourself, respect makes you more romantically attractive. So it's the love yourself first. Divine timing is at work in your love life, worth waiting for. We talked about the Wheel of Fortune, divine timing. And I'll pick one more. Children, your love life is being affected by children. It could be literally. I also think that it's childhood wounds, childhood matters, resolving the why you would need to kind of show yourself more self-love, because whatever it is, we need to kind of uncover the truth about this karmic connection that keeps you or them still kind of embroiled in it, you know, truthfully, and stay optimistic and hopeful about your love life. Just pulling 2 more cards from the Good Tarot, just because the images I like. For Scorpio Sagittarius during December 2019. Seven of Cups. This is the 3rd time Seven of Cups is showing up in this reading. So there are options, but there is a bit of an illusionary or illusory effect here. Seven of Cups is an illusion. Try to understand how to separate what is fact versus illusion. And you do have the Two of Swords in the reverse. Whoops. You have the Two of Swords in the reverse in your advice area to make a, you know, don't let yourself get blocked by indecision and denial. So it's reversed, meaning you will come to a good decision. You will come to a realistic decision, but it's a reminder that we need to not get swept away by our illusions and our fantasies about this. It's very easy to take a karmic connection and make it like a fantasy and try to only see the positive side. Yeah, and be aware of the Fool. The good news is about this is there's a new beginning awaiting you, that you may need to take a risk on yourself. But while you're at it, be, you know, realistic about, be realistic about what's possible here. Because yes, there's this unconditional sort of mutual love with the Queen of Cups, and then you feel for them the Page of Cups, like you're willing to give, and I think you would be, with even the least bit of sign from this person, I feel like you would be willing to keep giving. The tarot reading and the tarot messages and your guides want you to know that just be careful to not be foolish. Be open-minded about where you can create a new beginning, but I think it's more with yourself. Take risks to be true to yourself based on all these messages, and, you know, separate what's our ideal and maybe even a little bit of fantasy around this situation versus what's real. Again, it's very easy to put somebody on a pedestal, and this is not the time to put somebody on a pedestal. So I hope that helped, and please let me know. If you're new here, please subscribe and pass the word, and have a great December. Thanks.